fail, never been afraid to try again. Never gonna stop, never gonna fail, never been afraid to try again. This is a new day, and I'm thankful for another chance to win. I am a fighter, a survivor, and I'm never giving in. Never gonna stop, never gonna fail, never try again. Never gonna stop, never gonna fail, never been afraid to try again.
Good evening, and welcome. Welcome to the tour and you did read that fact that many of you and innovative ways in the bread a man who loves to impart knowledge. For quite some
as well, right? So beurre blanc is the emulsified, one of the emulsified sauces, what is this? Butter base, right? And for the veloute and the bechamel going with a standard roux, right? So without further ado, I just want to get us into that. We also, after we have finished the sauces, we take up the shortbread and then we're going to go into garnishing and some plating techniques. You don't want to miss that aspect, right? So what I've done ahead of time, because mise en place is so important, right? I would have already preset my stations with what I need to get me through my setup for my sauces, right? And so we're going to get straight over to the stove to get there. We're going to do the beurre blanc first, then we'll do one roux, split that into two, and I'll show you how you can do the bechamel and how you do the veloute, right? Are you ready to cook? Excitement! Let's do it. Let me grab my first saute pan right here. I'm going to use this one. Right, I'm going over on my stove. Right? There we go. Right, so when you're cooking now, remember, low to medium heat is good. Don't have your heat too high. Right? That way, if something happens you need to do, you should have control over your flame. Alright? So the taste, when you're making a beurre blanc, it's pretty, it's a butter-based sauce, right? It's a white sauce. Beurre, butter and blanc mean white. So what I'm going to do from here, I'm just going to do a reduction using my some peppercorn, bay leaf, shallots. When you're Jamaican here, you can utilize your own. And the shallots are a little sweeter, they're smaller, right? A lot sweeter. But if you don't have shallots, you can go ahead and use onion, right? So I'm going to get these in. I have this here already, right? I'm going to pop a little white wine in there as well. I'm just going to make a reduction from this. So I'm going with straight white wine, but you can do white wine mixed with some vinegar as well. Right? But I'm just going straight to a pinch of white wine. I put it off the flame because I don't want the pot to so I pull it out. Right? So my peppercorn is in. And these you could have actually sauteed them and do that first as well, right? If you wanted to do that. Right? So you build some nice flavor. I love the saute right here like it's first just to get that flavor going. So what we're going to do is we're going to reduce this until it's almost dry, or what we say in culinary term, or sec, right? So once we have achieved that, then we'll go in and we'll add the cream, right? And we'll finish off with the butter off the flame, alright? It doesn't take a long time, and you can do this ahead of time. The reduction can be made ahead of time. I'm doing it here now, so at least you can see what's going on. So what we're doing here, we're releasing and imparting flavor, right? Just let this go. It's almost right. So while this is going, right, in the kitchen, you learn how to multitask. So I'm going to start on a second flame with my roux, right? So we're going to multitask. So this is working, right? I'm going to start with another container. Right? My roux is going to go over on this flame. Right? Medium to low again. And you can smell the flavor. It reminds me of when I was on the cruise line, right? Working the sauce stations, the sauce and making this. So it was just the sheer flavor and aroma that comes from these, and it takes you to another level. Let's let that go. I have another cup there. So for the roux, we're going equal parts flour to butter, right? So if you're going to work with, say, 4 ounces of flour, then it's 4 ounces of butter as well, right? And vice versa, right? So let me just another spoon. Realize at my station I have everything that I need for this demonstration, right? So you're looking for that when you come to the competition, right? Have your ingredients ready, have everything set up, right? The beauty about it is that you know what you're going to be doing, right? So ahead of time, you can prepare and have everything ready. So this as well, right, you could have add some onions, right, saute that in there nicely to build on the flavor. But I'm just going basic today just to show you what this is, right? Reduction coming along nicely, right? So we want it to go till it's almost dry. It's not there yet, it's coming along, but it's not there, right? Let it keep going, right? Once my butter is nice and melted, and for your roux, what you can do, you can use compound butter, right? What is compound butter? It's flavored butter. So you would get the butter, allow it to come to room temperature. Don't put it on the flame. Just allow it to come to room temperature. And what you'll do now, you can import flavor into it. So garlic, herbs, you name it, and then you use that now as a base for the roux. So what you end up with is a really more pronounced flavor, right? So my butter is nice and melted. I'm just going to go in now with my flour. My reduction is working right there, right? And for your roux, we have, it's really 4 stages, but 3 are more popular in terms of where we take our roux, right? So we started what is known as the white roux, right? That's the first stage, right? So the white roux is used to thicken your white sauces, right? And if you realize there are no lumps, right? So I'm not dumping all the flour in there all at once, right? I put a portion in, whisk them out nicely, right? Ensure that there are no lumps. I'm just going to allow this to cook, right? Go in a little more. So the first stage would be your white roux, right? The white roux have the most thickening power to it, right? It's the strongest roux. After the white, we go to the blonde. And from the blonde, we take it to brown. All right, reduction is working, almost there, almost dry. If you can see, let me just turn the roux off for a minute. All right, we're going to focus on this one back here for a minute. If you can see, right, it's almost dry and the color has changed. And man, you want to smell this. You want to smell what is coming from here, right? So this flavor right here is what is going to make that nice beurre blanc for you, all right? So once we get to this stage, just a little bit more, all right? And then to this now, we would add our cream, all right? So at this stage, I'm going to go in now with my cream, because it's almost dry or sec. And so my cream goes in. All right, not too much. All right. And just like with any other emulsified style sauces, you don't want to keep this on the flame because it's going to break, all right? So at this stage, we're going to strain it afterwards, so don't worry about the lumps and stuff from the aromatics that are in there, all right? What you start doing with this now is we just fold in the butter very gently, all right? So here I am, all right? And I'm just going to turn this flame off, because what is known as carryover cooking, remember, the flame is off, but the pot is still very hot, okay? So it's nice, emulsified. And what you want to understand that you never put your beurre blanc back on open flame. Alright? Alright, which of the pot are we talking? Is the beurre blanc or for the roux? So this first one that I'm working here is we're making a beurre blanc, right? So a beurre blanc is a basic butter sauce, right? White butter sauce. And what we did, we start by making a reduction using our peppercorn, our bay leaf, our white wine, right? And our shallots. And then what we did from there now is we reduced it until it was almost dry, right? Or what we call au sec. And once we got to that consistency, what we did afterwards now was we add our cream, all right? Allow the cream to disperse evenly, and then we turn off the flame. So there's, as you see, there's no flame there, right? We're just allowing the natural heat that is still in the pot, right, to melt the butter for you, right? This is a nice, beautiful beurre blanc, right? It's not separated, it's not broken, nicely emulsified, all right? And what we'll do with this now, we'll strain it, and you hold it. If you need to hold it for any period of time, right, you put it over a double broiler. Don't put it back on direct heat, because if you do that, it's going to break and go into what is known as a water phase, right? So you separate the sauce, right? And you definitely can't serve that, all right? So I'm just twisting these last 2 pieces of butter in here, and that's going to be it. I will just let you get another bird's eye view of this once I've finished putting these in, and then we're going to move right along to making the bechamel and the veloute. Alright. So when you're finished, you would have strained this off nicely. Alright. And of course you season. So I'm still going to season, right? A little pinch of salt and white pepper in there. Alright, beautiful. Alright, so I'm going to take this over so my camera can pick this up so you see what's going on. So this is what your finished beurre blanc, right, will look like. Right, you see that? Nice, that's beautiful, that's quality. Right, there you go. Look at that. So that's a beurre blanc. All we do with this now is strain it, and you get this to use. And you can actually import flavor. Remember yesterday we did the lime, the orange. So you can actually add citrus to this now. So you could turn it into a citrus beurre blanc. You could go capers, right? So you can now build on the flavor that you have here, right? But the key is to understand how to build the base of the beurre blanc, as I have done here, right? So as you come to the competition, if you want to attempt something like this, let's practice at home. I must tell you though, you have to don't use margarine. The composition of margarine is different from that of butter, all right? So you want to use butter if you're going to do this, right? Right, and that's our beurre blanc. I'm going to put this away, right over here. Right, I'm going to go back in with my my roux. Right. So no danger, no harm was done. I just turned it off. So I'm just going to continue cooking here now. Right. And let's say you add your flour here now in stages. Right. You don't want any lumps. Right, any questions, you can show the questions. If you have questions, send them my way so we can talk and discuss while we go along. All right, so I'm just going to cook this. I'm keeping it white, right? Because we're doing white sauce, right? Still have a little bit more flour, right? But again, you see, I'm going in stages, right? So I didn't just dump everything in there. So there are to be no lumps, right? And you allow this just to cook nicely, right? There we go. Yeah, this is looking good. Nice roux. Alright. Alright, that goes back there. And all I'm going to do with this, I'm going to break it into another pot, and I'm just going to show you how to do the bechamel from this, and also how to do the veloute, which is more using the vegetable stock instead of the cream. So remember, 3 stages to your roux, but really 4, because you can go chocolate as well, right? But the standard is your white, your bland, and of course you have the brown as well. All right, so we're looking good, all right? It's not lumpy, it's not overly thick, right? Just allowing it to cook so I get rid of some of the rawness from there. Also note that the longer you cook your roux, the nuttier the flavor becomes, right? Like for me, when I'm going to do like a lamb sauce, I like to work with a nice, rich, dark roux, right? It just adds that depth to it. If I'm doing something where I'm going to incorporate a red wine, I just like to have that nice, nutty flavor going on. All right? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to break this in 2. All right? So let me just take another from here. All right. And in this one, what I want to do is, so it's still cold, but it's okay. I'll be doing 2 applications, right? So let this one stay as is. That stays off for now. And let's work with this one. So to this, we're going to do first the bechamel, all right? So your bechamel is one of your 5 mother sauces, right? So it's your white roux. We finish with nutmeg. We finish with some cream, right? And as I say, I like to incorporate some aromatics at the get-go. So some onion, some garlic, or you can go ahead and just use a nice herb butter, right? So what I'm going to do from here now, I'm going to switch over, right? And I'm going to go with a whisk. Right. And if you find that your roux is getting too thick on you, you can simply just remove the pot from the heat. Like in this case, you see it's thickening up, right? So I'm just going to add some more here. So don't freak out and say, wow, my roux is so thick, right? Remember, as you keep it on the heat, it's going to keep getting thick on you. So you can just take it up, right? Or pull it off center, as we will say, right? And just kind of get everything nicely incorporated, right? So the wooden spoon wouldn't do you, all the justice that you need for this, all right? Oh. Once I've gotten nice and even, I can go back to using the wooden spoon, but I want to get it nice. A good bechamel, you really shouldn't need to have to strain it, but if you want it nice and refined, then you go ahead and you strain. But you should be able to get most of the lumps out of it, right? I still strain it because I like to have my sauces nice and refined, right? And there you have it, nicely incorporated, right? There are no lumps at this stage, all right? So that's what you're going for. Takes a little time. There we have it. So if you realize the lumps are going, what you end up now is just this nice, smooth sauce. And the longer you keep it on the flame, it's going to continue to reduce, right? And you might get those lumps again, right? So I'm going to go back in with my my wooden spoon. Just going to rest this right here. And so I can go back now with my wooden spoon because I would have used the whisk to achieve its purpose, which is to get rid of the lumps. All right. Nice and creamy. Right. And a good sauce, we want to get it like for this I want to get it to what we call nappe, right? So if you should coat the back of this spoon with it and just drag your finger through it like this, it should hold nicely, right? See that? That's what we're going for, right? So it will coat and hold nicely. And if you're going to do, say, like a mac and cheese or some form of a casserole, you want to add this in there, then what you would do, you could get it a lot thicker than this. What I'm good for here, I'm just going to season this now, right? And then we'll be good to go. And from this now, you can make any of the other derivative that come from the bechamel, right? The bechamel is not a good bechamel without a pinch of nutmeg, bam, right? And of course, we season to taste, bam, all right, and it's that simple, all right? Your bechamel is ready, all right? So try these out at home, all right? So already we have beurre blanc down ready. I'm taking bechamel out, bechamel is ready. And I'm going to pull in to do now my veloute, which is my third sauce for the evening, all right? And to this one, all right, can use my same spoon, it's pretty fine, right? I'm just going to add stock to this one, because the veloute is another of the mother sauce. But for this one, say you want to do like something for a fish, like a capers, sauce with capers, right? But you don't want to go cream. Then you go with the veloute. All right. Same rule apply. All right. Just stay in my pot there for a second. Let me just grab my whisk quickly here. Let's give them a quick rinse since I had put it in the cream. All right. There we go. All right. We're going to do the same rule apply, but this time I'm going in with, instead of cream, we would do stock. All right. All right, and if you find that it's a little cold, you can always crank up the heat. Get the corners, always get the corners. All right. All right, there we go. We're getting it. All right. Just want to thicken up in a little while, right? And to this again, it's a base to carry so many other of your sauces, right? To this, easily I could have over here, you know, some nice sauteed capers with, you know, squeeze of lemon, and I then just add some of my veloute to that, and I have a nice capers and lemon sauce too. Sorry, to go with a nice salmon, you know, or something like that. All right. See, you're getting that body's coming right away, right? And at this stage again, I can take out my whisk. I should have achieved its purpose. And I can go back in with my wooden spoon, right? Nice and smooth, right? So this is what you're looking for when you make your sauces, right? Nice and smooth. Same nappe, right? There we go. See that, right? You want to get that nice hold on it. If it's not doing that, then you know that you would have gone wrong somewhere in the process, all right? These doesn't take a long time, right? They're designed to make in very short space of time, right? But making them properly, again, it might take you some time. Don't look and say, whoa, I can't do that. All right, practice, take some time. Here we go. All right. I'm going to do the same thing. We're going to season this up nicely. I say it's just the base that I'm making just to show you, right? You can build on this. Right. Nice smooth consistency. Here we go. That's what you're going for. All right. I can pretty much down my flame now, right? Because these are ready, right? So see how fast we got our 3 nice sauces out, right? See, that's what you're looking for. All right, it's not thick, there are no lumps, just running nice and smooth for you, right? So that's your veloute. This is your bechamel, and this is your nice beurre blanc. See, it's not separated, still together, right? So the emulsion is still nicely together, all right? And there we have all 3 in no time flat, all right? So if you have questions regarding what we just did, you can throw those at us, right? We have another segment. We're going to go into how we do our garnish and plating techniques. We're going to go into that, right? What we want to do, if you have questions, if there was anything I did that you didn't pick up on, then throw the questions in and we will answer those for you, right? So we'll give a minute or 2 for any questions that you might have at this moment before we transition into the second segment. We do have a little time on our hand because the sauces don't take a mighty long time to make, right? So yeah. All right, no questions just yet? All right.
All right, all right. Nice that chef did this sauces. Now I'm ready because tomorrow I'll do a play on one. All right. So chef did the mother sauces and I'm going to play on one tomorrow. But let me first remind all of us that you send your name, your email addresses, so we can contact you, we can send you your certificate of participation, and also you need to fill out that evaluation form that we will be submitting. Now, I should let you know that we're celebrating Jamaica's 60th, and the Culinary Arts Unit decided to do a keepsake, a memorabilia. So it is in the form of a calendar. Now I'm going to be showing you what it looks like. So the cost is just $500. And you can call the office, you can ask for the product development manager, Ms. Skylar Mullings, or you can call the Culinary Arts Unit and ask to speak to me and I will give you a directive. Now, each month we have a different recipe. So I want you to think about it. We're celebrating Jamaica's 60th. And let me start from the January. So we want persons to understand that traditionally, these are things that we do. So there's January, we've gone January, and that's what was our February recipe. All right, so persons, it only costs $500. Let me go to our March. Who likes turned cornmeal? There we go, or turned cornmeal. Let me go on, and I'm sure that some persons want to make their own bun. Okay,
So what's coming
come
up
on.
next month? What's coming up?
There we go, that's our Easter bun. So when you buy this calendar, this recipe collection of traditional Jamaican dishes, then you can have it. Now this is volume 1. And come next year, 2023, we will have volume 2. And we will go up for 5 years because we want to have all of these traditional recipes into your hands, into your kitchen. So here we go. Who likes almond corn porridge? There we go. We're all Jamaica. The tough crackers? or the hard bread? All right. So we go to June. Oh my goodness, I would have some of this right now. Or fricassee chicken. Look at it. Lovely. Mouth watering. All right. Then for July, we have our coconut drops. And some persons are having challenges making, you have a challenge when it comes to making the coconut drops. It's either turn tight teeth. Who knows what that is? For the youngsters, when you hear somebody say, oh, the drops tight teeth, what is it that they're saying? Or it didn't set. All right? And if you notice, you know, we put it on the banana leaf, traditionally. The banana leaf. All right? So that's July. And just showing you all that we have. Now, you know, August we have to do the fried dumpling and the ackee and saltfish. Not to mention the chocolate tea. All right. So you're going to buy, and your loved ones overseas, you can give it to them as a gift. Right. Who remember the cornmeal pudding? My goodness. Hella top, hallelujah bottom. All right. So here you have the traditional way of making our cornmeal pudding. And then for October, my goodness, some people love the stew peas with the pigtail catch on the top. I'm not talking to the Adventists now, you know, but I'm talking to the stew peas lover. Those who can tolerate the stew peas. They love it, you know, they must see the spinners. The spinners and the pigtail is a must. Isn't that true? Jamaicans, talk it truth. Not true? Yes, man. We're talking to Jamaicans, you know. The spinners and the pigtail catch on the top must be in your stew peas. All right. And for November, I'm sure that a lot of the youngsters don't know of the original ginger beer. You know, your grandmother, your grandfather, your great grandparents, they didn't have fridge, you know. But you see, when they made this ginger beer, trust me, it beat out the nowadays ginger beer. So this, you can get the recipe and you try. It's good, it's lovely. That's for November. And guess what is coming up for Christmas? Who knows? Any bright spark? Yes, man. I know you know. Thank you. The cake. The Christmas cake. My goodness, the black cake, the rum cake, whatever it is that you want to call it. So you can get your recipe, and more so now, guess what? You see how things tight? You just have to cut down on some of the things in this. Like the amount of fruits I put in this, you can cut it down, you know. You can make your own Christmas cake. You have a big family? Make a Christmas cake. And we go for January to January. And guess what? Anybody can tell you now, Jamaicans, it's a Sunday daytime. If they not serve the carrot juice or the soursop juice, you're not having Sunday dinner. So here is our traditional Jamaican carrot juice. So I want you to purchase one of these. It is the traditional Jamaican recipe coming out of the Culinary Arts unit. So you can put in the chat if you want further clarity or you want some information, or you know, if you are a group, you can call, you can text, you can send us information. How can I get them? What is it that I need to do? And we will respond accordingly. Everybody understand? Are you excited? Now listen to me, man. You see next year, trust me, you're gonna see something else for next year. So you have to get this collection, keep it, and then the other collection, 2023, you're gonna have more exciting dishes on that calendar keepsake that you're going to be buying for yourself, and you're going to be sending it to your loved ones overseas. All right? Thank you so much. And I know that chef is waiting and ready to get into the garnishing techniques. All right? So get yourself refreshed. Grab a bottle of water.
I think we had a question. So
all right, there's a question. All right. After chef answers the question, you're going to grab a bottle of water. You're going to probably get a snack. And when you come back, it will be chef ready to do his garnishing techniques. Thank you so much.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Ms. Jerry. And those recipes are foolproof. They're standardized to the T. You follow them, you can't go wrong. So we had a question. Someone's asking, for instance, they missed out on some of what we did. So we're asking what we have in the pots. So let me go over them quickly again. We did a beurre blanc, right? So a beurre blanc is an emulsified sauce, right, which uses butter. So what we did, we made a reduction. The reduction consists of our peppercorn, our white wine, our bay leaves, and shallots. But in this case, I used onion, right? We made a reduction from that, and we brought it down. Yes, so I'm going to get some assistance from the camera here. We brought it down until it was almost dry, or what we say in culinary, or sec, right? After that, I add in some cream, and as you watch back the presentation, then you can follow what I'm saying, right? We add the cream in, allow that to disperse nicely, then we turn off the flame, allow the heat from the pan to melt the butter, right? And so we end up with this beautiful looking butter sauce here. So this is a classic beurre blanc. You just strain this, and then you will have your sauce ready, all right? We also did a bechamel, right? So we made a white roux. As we had said, your roux comes in 3 primary stages. We can go 4, because there's also a chocolate roux, right? But 3 is really standard. So we have our white, the blonde, and the brown, right? Because we did white sauces here, right? We did a white roux, right? I also explained that the white roux is the strongest in terms of the thickening power that it has, because you haven't cooked out too much of the gluten from that, right? So we made our roux, we add our milk, and we proceed to make the bechamel. If you see, it really stands up really nice, just the same. I was saying you could also use a nice compound butter, right, to create the roux. And we finish off, of course, with season, and we add a pinch of nutmeg, right? We also did a veloute, right, over on the back here, right? It's been sitting, so it's catching a little body, of course, right? So the difference between, there's one primary difference between the veloute and the bechamel, right? The bechamel uses cream, while your veloute uses your vegetable stock, right? So that's a primary difference, right? For the veloute, again, this helps nice when you want to do a sauce where you don't want to add cream, right? So say you want to do like a nice capers and lemon sauce, you can go ahead and do the mother sauce, the veloute, and you can finish off with that, right? The bechamel is classic. Now you can make the other derivative from here. You can go with the cheese sauce and such forth. As I had said, if you're going to do like for a mac and cheese, you want it a little tighter than this, right? So it could carry that firmness and body that you wanted for that, right? So go ahead and practice a few of these. All right. What kind of, so we have some more questions coming. What kind of butter should be used? Okay, so we need a strong enough butter. Not margarine. As long as it's butter, it's good enough. Just don't use margarine, because the composition of margarine is different from that of butter. All right, so you want to go with butter and not margarine. The margarine is going to separate it. You won't get a clarification. You won't clarify like how you have this. Emulsified, sorry, like how you have this one. All right, so we have another question. So that's for the butter, right? So you want to use good quality butter when you're doing this. Please, no margarine, all right? For the beurre blanc, all right? How much butter should be used? All right, so I'm going to take the question in two stages, right? So if you're doing the butter in terms of for the roux, it's equal parts of butter to flour. So if you're doing 2 ounces of flour, it's 2 ounces of butter, right? That's for the roux. If you're speaking for the beurre blanc, it all depends on what the recipe specified. For this, I used about 4 ounces of butter I used in this. I was about, I would say 2 tablespoons of cream that I'd put in this, right? So it all depends on what the recipe would specify as it relates to the beurre blanc itself, right? If sauce not using immediately, how would you keep the consistency before using? Okay, so that's a good question, right? So let's take the beurre blanc first. So say you make a beurre blanc, right, and you want to use it
for dinner service, but you're going to make it like a half an hour before, right? Mark, you want to make your sauce as close to service time as possible, right? Especially for a beurre blanc, don't take a long time. So what you would do is make the reduction and keep the reduction. That's for the beurre blanc in particular. You make the reduction and you keep it. When it's time for you now to present, or just before, you add the cream, right? Allow that to disperse nicely. Turn off the heat, whisk in the butter, right? So that's the preferred method for your beurre blanc, right? But say you want to make it now and keep it for a little time, say a 20 or 25 minutes or a half an hour. What you do is you use what is known as a double boiler, right? So you wouldn't put this sauce over the open flame because it's going to break, right? So you would put water in one pot like this, and then you would now put the sauce over it just like that, and allow the steam that is coming from this container to keep the sauce warm for you. You want to keep not rapid boil, okay, please? So you want to keep it at a simmer, right, the least, just where you get those little bubbles coming up, because all it is just enough heat to keep it warm, all right? Too much heat or too much agitation break your emulsifications, all right? Good questions. Right. Thank you for participating. Thank you for the questions. You can always keep them coming. Even when we go into the other round, I will still take the questions, because when you come to the competition, we want you to show what you can do. After all, we are in the business of building brand Jamaica, building our culinary professionals for the next level. All right. So keep the questions coming. All right. We're going to break now. And I'm going to replenish my station as usual. And when I come back, we're going to go first into garnishing techniques. And then I'm going to show you how you can do, all right. I'll pause that thought. So we have another question. How do you make an Alfredo sauce from a bechamel? So the Alfredo is just that you're going to now add your Parmesan, right? So the Alfredo comes from the mother sauce here. So you would go now with your Parmesan cheese, and of course you can add some fresh herbs to that, and that will bring you up to the Alfredo stage. So bechamel, just like this, right? And then from this, so what I would have done if I was going to go for the Alfredo, I will now go in with my Parmesan Reggiano, and I get some fresh herb in there, and bam, I would have my nice Alfredo, right? Key to note, try to use unsalted butter, right? If you're using salted butter, then you have to be careful, especially if you're going for Alfredo, right? They tend to have salt as well, so it's best to use unsalted butter. If you use salted butter, just watch how much additional salt you put on the cheese, all right? Could you use cornstarch instead of flour? All right, so let's talk about thickening agents quickly. Cornstarch is a thickener by itself, right? So we have a roux is a thickening agent, cornstarch is a thickening agent, arrowroot thickening agent. So we have different thickening agents. You would defeat the purpose if you try to use a cornstarch based on how the cornstarch operates to do the roux, right? One, if you want to do, say you want to do, I'll give you a practical example. Say I want to do a brown roux, right? And I use cornstarch instead of regular flour that has the gluten in it and it's able to hold up to the heat. What is going to happen, the cornstarch is going to break down. And maybe by the time I reach to the blanc stage, there is no thickening power left in it, right? So cornstarch is designed for just a quick thicken and you go. So it's another thickener all by itself. It's not a substitute for the roux. The roux is coming classic from the French in how we use it to make a lot of the sauces that we use. The cornstarch is a total separate thickener, right? Thank you for that question. All right, so we're going to take our break. When we come back, we're going to do garnishes. I'm going to touch on some hot garnishes, basics, of course, hot garnishes, cold garnishes, and then after that, we're going to go into how to do plating, right? Plating techniques. So we want to teach you all that you need to know. So when you come to the competition, you're fully equipped, right? As long as you go over the content, do your own research, you will be well equipped. All right. Thank you again for the questions, and you can always keep them coming. All right. So we'll take a break. As Mrs. Jerry had said, get your glass of water, grab your notepad and your pen if needs be, grab your chopping board, work along with me if needs be as well. All right. Back at you in a few minutes.
We will fight if we country. 6 of them a man and 1 of them a lady. Oh yeah, I see Jamaica, Jamaica. Everybody want come a yard. Jamaica, Jamaica. Worldwide straight from abroad. I see Jamaica, Jamaica. Everybody want come a yard. Sweet Jamaica, Jamaica. Worldwide straight from abroad. You know see it. Welcome to the island of the tropical sun. You need some fun, just listen reggae. Get some cool rum. You won't regret it if you stop at the fun can done. In a day, you see don't cause this a sweet jam down. The beauty of my people bring my peace. Music it in your face. Every day is a jamboree. We got the most amazing, and I know you would have been the most beautiful women the world has ever seen. Out in Jamaica, Jamaica. Everybody want come a yard. In my Jamaica, Jamaica. Worldwide straight from abroad. Down in Jamaica, Jamaica. Everybody want come a yard. In Jamaica, Jamaica. Worldwide straight from abroad. This beautiful island breeze, yeah, is of all the migration. Food in abundance, they are so see the basket never empty. Our schools and blessed teachers, police officers and soldiers, churches for redemption every corner. Yeah, we go fishing down a river, make we one a sardine. Use gungo bees, make we one butter bean. Then beat it cassava, make we one a dumpling. 2 buckle neck beer and some boiled chimbilin. 3 river stone, breadfruit and rose. Coconut a boiled down to custard and tin. Arrowroot porridge with cane juice sweetening. Some sorosity with some young tamarind. That me give me friend from foreign. With a bucket of sarin, some sanata gin pill. And that mama use as the medicine. Down in Jamaica, yes. Down in Jamaica, yeah. Down in Jamaica, Jamaica. Everybody want come a yard. Jamaica, Jamaica. Worldwide straight from abroad. I see Jamaica, Jamaica. Everybody want come a yard. Sweet Jamaica, Jamaica. Worldwide straight. Jamaica, Delaware. Who's up together, come together, make we keep sweet, sweet. We Jamaicans, Delaware. I don't will I be on the feet, it can be ragga ragga. Many nations, where the black, the green and gold in celebration. We Jamaicans, Delaware. In our own, we get a win, no
remember to pick up your cousin Winston at the airport. And remember to take him around.
Mama carry him round. Me I tell you about mental rock steady. Me I tell you about scam. Me I tell you about reggae. Me I tell you about dancehall. Me I tell you about corrigo. Me I tell you about jerk chicken. Yo, them you don't know them things there. And me I tell you say we have one of the richest culture in the entire world. You see that little island here? No people don't know you. You see that island here? Sure.
Me love Jamaica, my land. Yeah, me love Jamaica Island. Roast couple fish, breadfruit I am. Sure, breadfruit I am. Link the jerk man, fling the chicken on the pan. You better put that chicken on the pan. Come and need some food from my cousin Winston. We're just flying from England. Oh, you remember Jackass can't spin the kick and fly the kite. No violence, I just play a fight. When we a shoot the marble and I play the ring game. Fatty, thumper, shotty, everybody have a nickname. Down a hero circle where you find the crab and the can. No attraction over the cast of palm. Chilling by the ends, yes, you know what I want. Tell the cops enough to ring no alarm. Love Jamaica, my land. Yeah, me love Jamaica Island. Roast couple fish, breadfruit I am. Sure, breadfruit I am. You check the jerk man, fling the chicken on the pan. You better put that chicken on the pan. Come and need some food from my cousin Winston. We're just flying from England. Oi! Who I said the place no nice, who I said the place no fun. Run, go get me Pepsi, get me ice, go get me rum. And listen to the music, yes, a good vibes. Me chilling by the beach and everything is alright. Jamaica is a place and me say lot of happy face. And when the music hit and me say it can't erase. Me know you feel the treble and the magic in the bass. Me love Jamaica, my land. Yeah, me love Jamaica Island. Roast couple fish, breadfruit I am. Sure, breadfruit I am. Go check the jerk man, fling the chicken on the pan. You better put that chicken on the pan. Come and need some food from my cousin Winston. We're just flying from England. Oh, sure, skanky, you know, sweet, you know. Some skanky, nice and easy. Watch that one, yeah. Wait here, I just a 1 foot skank. 1 foot skank, sure. The 1 foot skank, no man around. Mama said, go ask Uncle Tom, but this car rock steady. And ask Miss Jane, but the water pumpy. The two of them together cool and deadly. Got them a listen to a bad them boot medley. We give you John Oates, a Tussle Fort and Usain Bolt. A peace and love, me say me have to.
Welcome back everyone. I know that a lot of persons are having challenges getting on. But I must let you know that you can also go to the JCDC Jamaica YouTube, or you can go to Facebook and you will be watching us live. So get yourself ready. You can probably get your plate. You should have it already. And the chef is going to be walking you through this session of garnishing techniques and a little bit of plate presentation. Have fun.
All right. As always, Jerry. So now for this round, we're going into, as was said, garnishing techniques, right? Before we touch on the plates, right? What is garnishing? Why do we need to garnish, right? So when we garnish, we pretty much we're adding to, right? So we're adorning, we're bringing whatever item it is to another level. So your garnishing should help to enhance flavor, right? It should enhance the dish, right? It shouldn't be taken away from the dish, right? So we say your garnish should be functional and not non-functional, all right? So what I'm going to do with us this evening briefly, we're going to go through just some basics, right? For what you can do as you come to the competition and just in general when you're at home, right? So we're going to start with the hot ones first. So I'm going to be doing I have a sweet potato right here. I'm going to use this to do some nice, what we call nests. I'm going to cut them really thin. Remember, yesterday we went through knife skills, right? So today you're going to learn now how to put those skills into practice in using those items to prepare something that is really nice, all right? So we're going to work with the sweet potato to do the nest, right? I also have a flour tortilla here. These I'm going to pop in the oven, right? So say you're not a fan of stuff that is fried, you want to have it nice and baked, right? You can pop this in the oven, right? And they will bake up nicely for you, right? So I'm going to do that. And I'm also going to do a fry on the color leaf. It's a classic one you'll find in the hotels and restaurants at time, all right? So let's get right into it, right? As usual, right? I have my 2 containers, right? Never leave them. One for trash, one for edible trim, all right? So let me get my paring knife, right? And I'm going to start with the potato. All right? And these are simple stuff that you can do, because I mean we're since Jamaica, right? We have these at our disposal, right, all the time, and so we can go ahead and do these the fancy things at home just to make the meal more exciting, right? Instead of every day just the same old, we can get a little creative and get a little fancy just at home, right? So as you prepare yourself for the competition, right, and mark you, I didn't use the breadfruit to do this, right? But you could do just throwing it out at you, right? Just throwing it out there. This here is the ingredient is breadfruit. And so you could use the breadfruit to do this just the same, right? So while I'm doing this, just think about how you can utilize the breadfruit to do something similar, right? So nice and peeled, right? What I'm going to do from here, same as how we did when we went through knife skills, right? Once it's a round item, you want to create a base, especially something as hard as a potato, because that knife will slip, right? And man, those fingers are gone, right? Claw method, and I'm going across the face there. So I have something nice to work with that goes in edible trims, right? And if you have a mandolin or something, you can use it to do this. But my knife is pretty sharp, and I like to improve my knife skills every day. So I'm going just using my knife to get this. I want it nice and thin. So I'm just doing like a saw motion, right? Just to get these where I want them. So I'm not trying, the aim is not to go fast on this, right? It's just to get them nice and thin. I won't be doing a lot, but the aim is just to show you. Alright. I think I'll take one more. No, that should be enough. Alright. This apart, then just rest it right in here. Alright. And you can, so I will use these for the nest. So let me show you. Sometimes you'll find chefs will use this and make a little leaf to get fancy, right? So you could go around, curve it up nice with your paring knife, right? Right. Let me just do something here for you. Right. Right. So you have something shaping out like a leaf already. And what I will do now, I can go in here, go down the center, right, and I can start taking out little pieces from here, right. So you can do 2 ways. You can choose to cut it. Let me just show you both. You can choose to cut it all the way through like this. Alright, so let me do it on both sides and show you. And these will keep for a little while, alright? Just keep them in a nice airtight container. Alright. So you can choose to do it this way where you just take them out fully. Or you can just go in the center like this. It all depends on your mindset, your design, and what you wish to achieve. All right. I'm going to just shift this over here. I can just move it out for you. All right, so you get insight of what is going on. So this can come, that can push up a little. It goes up, and that can go right there. So you have insight. All right. So you could choose to do it like this as well. All right, just showing you more than one way in which you can create that little leaf effect. All right. You could choose to take them out like this, right? But in any case, I'm still going to fry this up nicely, right? So at least we will see what's going on. All right? And this would pass, as I said, for a hot garnish item, right? So here we go. I'm not going to, generally we'll put this now in some water, right? But I'm not going to put it in any water since I'm going to be working with it shortly, right? The room is pretty cool, so I have the latitude of not getting dark too fast, right? For these now, I'm just going to go, I think I want to go in half, and then nice and thin, right? As thin as you can go with this. So I'm pretty much going even finer than what we did yesterday for the fine julienne. I pretty much just want these little, almost like thread-looking strips. All right, so this is a good way to test your knife skills. All right. And again, it's not just about going fast, right? My aim here is not to cut fast. I want you to catch the techniques properly. All right. There we go. Nice strips, right? While this is working, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to crank up my flame here and get some grease in it. That's some oil, right? So at least that is doing its thing while we're over on this side, all right? Nice, right? All right. And for by persons who like to explore, you can color these up, right? You don't have to keep them in this color. You can color them whether you want to go natural color using beetroot, or you want to use artificial colors where you want to color them up. You can choose. All right. This is ready. I'm just going to rest them in one of these until the oil is nice and hot. All right. So we're just going to fry these up. What you want to do with these now, ideally, soak them for a little while, right? So maybe a little salt. If you want to impart some flavor in there, you could go ahead and do that as well, right? So the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to fry a leaf as well. So let me just take this, my cucumber in there. I just want one nice leaf from here that I'm going to take this one. All right. Maybe I can do two. Yeah, right. So I'm going to take this one. And my pot is big enough, so I'm going to take this one. So I could fry these two. You want to have these nice and dry, all right? So sure there are no moisture, no water on them when you're going to do that, all right? So I dry these off nicely. My oil is working. Yeah. Crank that down. All right. Same thing for this one. Dry it off nicely. All right. And I'm just going to keep these right here with me. What I'm going to do now as well is, while the oil is getting up to temp, right, I'm going to cut a few. I have my tray right here. I'm going to put some flour tortilla on this. Right? And I'm going to pop those in the oven. So you can choose whatever color you want to use, right? I'm just using a plain plain flour. You can go spinach, black bean, you name it. There are so many that we have that we can use, right? So I'm just going to be doing some nice designs on this, right? I see we have a question. Let me pop my lenses on. Right. Is coral twill an ideal garnish for meat? Yes, you can. You can import flavor in your coral, right? So the basic basic ingredient for your coral is really just your flour, your oil, and of course a little water there. But what you can do is you can now impart. So let's go a little into gastronomy, right? Since the question came in, I see that I have persons online who are a little bit more advanced, right? So let's go a little into the gastronomy world now. So say you're going to do a coral and you're doing beef, right? What you can do, instead of just doing, when you're going to make the coral, where you have the flour, instead of just adding just oil, you can do an infused oil, right? So infuse some flavor into the oil. In this case, it can be something that is going to pair well with the beef. So you could go with peppercorn or something like that, what's going to go well with it. A rosemary, a herb that you know goes well, and you infuse that flavor. Infuse that flavor now into the oil, and then you will use that now to make the coral. So when you now garnish the meat with the coral, it's not just a plain coral, but you have something that is full with flavor as well. So yes, your coral can go with your proteins. All right. Thank you for the question. All right. So let's go back into what we were doing here. So I'm just going to do some nice design on this one, right? So pretty much it's up to you how you want to do it, right? I cut this in half. I could choose to do just the basic, which are just triangles like these, right? Kind of keep them uniform, right? And these, again, nice herb oil, cheese, right? You name it. Or you can choose to get a little fancier. You can, see, I want to get fancy on this one. I could choose to go a little fancy with a zigzag on here. All right. Bring it out like that. All right. So my oil is almost up to temp. All right. So you could go here, right? And then you'll end up with something looking more like this, right? See? Right? So you'll have a little more fancy going on there. So we're going to bake them, so we'll see them how they comes out. All right, so this is plain flour tortilla that we're using. All right, as I say, you could choose to use a flavored one like a spinach, a black bean, you name it. But I'm just going plain for today. All right, that's my tray right here. I'm just going to pop these on here, and again on top of these, you could go with nice herb oil, right? So what is a herb oil? A herb oil is pretty much an oil that you have infused with some herb, right? It's pretty straightforward. So walk it through it quickly. So get your oil, heat it up nicely, and then just put the herb in there and allow it now to extract all of that flavor from it. You put that in a nice squeeze bottle and you keep it, all right? And you can use that now, nice drizzle on top, and that pops the flavor for your item, all right? These are the triangle shapes one that I had done, right? And if you have your pastry cutters, right? I didn't pull any out of my stash, right? You can actually cut these into myriads of different shapes. So stars, hearts, triangle, you name it, right? So you could do that as well, right? But this is just the basic I'm showing you, right? And this will pass as a nice hot garnish. And this as well, as I say, I'm not topping these. I'm just showing you the basics, right? So you could go herb oil, as I said. You could go cheese, right? On top of these, you could just brush them, and that's it. You bake them, they comes out real nice. I'm going to pop these in the oven, right? So I need a timekeeper, I need a timekeeper from my Zoom chat, right? So I want someone to keep time for me. So after 3 minutes, we want to check these after 3 minutes. So after 3 minutes, I want someone to pop in the chat and say, Chef, your 3 minutes have expired, all right? So I'm popping these in. Right? As I say, it's just plain, right? I say I'm just showing you the basics. All right. So my oil here is pretty much up to temp, right? I'm going to do a little test on it just to make sure. So I'm just going to cut a little piece from here, bam, and it should give me a nice sizzle if I put this in it. There we go. There we go. So I know I'm ready. All right. It's good to test here. All right. So what I'm going to do, I want to have my my plate here ready. All right, let me take one of these. I'm going to take this one right here. Let me just fold this on here. So when you fry stuff in general, right, you want to ensure that you drain any excess oil or stuff from them, right? So I have my precision tongs as well that I pulled out for today, so I might be gonna use this just for this one, right? And so I'm just going in. All right, so the key when you're doing frying leaves, right? Basil, I want this to blow away, let's put something else on there. Basil, callaloo, whatever the leaf is, right? Carryover cooking is very important. So what you want to do is, we're going to take this out just before it is done, right? So stay with me on this one, right? Stay with me, all eyes on deck, right? So I'm just gripping it right here. I could pretty much drop it in there, but I not grip it. You might get a little of that popping sound. It's just the liquid that's in there. So if you realize, like, I don't put it, just drop it so it keeps popping up, right? It's like that, right? Okay, if you're doing this, say, in the hotel, then you might not have time to do it like that, right? You might want to just put it in and leave it, right? But that's when you're using like a deep fryer or something where you can really pull back, right? And so if you realize it's still cooking, right? That's what the carryover cooking does, you see? Still got some liquid in there, right? And so it's gonna firm up nicely for you as you touch it, right? It's gonna firm up nicely, right? There we go. So take it out at this stage, because what is going to happen, by the time it's dry, you're going to find that it's going to firm up nicely for you, all right? See, it's still changing because the oil is still in there, right? We underestimate the carryover cooking too much, right? I did it wrong, so I should have brought my my plate over there, right? Instead of bringing the thing to the plate, all right? All right, so we have our tortilla in the oven, right? All right, we're coming along, not there just yet, all right? So let's fry another one, right? So you see that one is nice, you see the color have changed, right? So we're going to do the same thing. Remember, don't just drop it in the oil. Catch my technique, right? Catch my technique. I say you can drop it if you're, say, doing a deep, using a deep fried fryer where you can just put them down and have enough space to step up. But in this case, right, we're in a small space. I don't want to have grease all over everything on the stove. So I'm kind of putting and taking up, right? Right? Let it go. See? Technique is very important. Right? So the water is leaving, but I didn't get so much, you know, of the mess all around. Right? It's very important. Right? So this stage I can go just a little bit more. Right? See? Right here is where I'm going to take it out. It's still cooking. Right? Always remember that term. You see, the color have changed. And it's not in the oil anymore, but there is still heat from the oil that's in the item. Right? And so I go over. All right. There you go. It's nicely done. All right. So my timer is gone. Let's see how I'm looking. All right. So I'm coming along. Get one of my mittens right here, and I'm going to see how we are looking. All right. So my oven was preheated nicely, and so I know this wouldn't take me a long time. I can still go a little bit more. Right. All right, timekeeper, give me 1 more minute, please. 1 more minute. All right. So the color leaves are nice. We're going to examine everything afterward. Just get all the frying out the way. All right. So those two are ready, looking good. Let's do the nest. Right. Let's do the nest now. Right. Same rule apply. Right. I'm just going in with these. There we go. All right. Just going to use my little spoon. All right. I'm going to come back here with my tweezer just to take them out, but I'm just using my spoon just to move them around. All right. I get up my thing. Right. And so for these, right, you're just frying them up nicely, right, nice and crispy. And these now you can use as your finisher, right. So it adds that crunch factor, that crunch element. It adds that nice crunch element. Let me bring this over here, because ideally this is what you want to do. You bring your container to the stove and not the item to the container, all right. There we go. Right, they're coming along. Not there just yet, but they're coming up. All right. 1 minute, says the timekeeper. All right. I think I'm going to pull these out right where they're at. I'm going to move this because I'm going to rest them right here. Here we have them. Right. Nicely done. And these are good for, you make a nice dip, you can have these that you can serve with them. All right, so these are ready as well. Nice. I'm getting that crunch. I can hear that. All right. Yeah, hear that? Yeah, that's what we're going for. There we go. 1, 2, 3. I think I can. Oh, I'm going to do this one as well. I was going to pop the oil off, but just remember that we have this one. And I did say we were going to do this. All right. So these are ready. And when we get into the plating, right, I'm going to show you how you can utilize this, because for the plating, I'm just showing you how to, put sauce on the plate, design the plate as it relates to putting food on the plate. That is tomorrow, right? But I'm going to use these same item here just to show you how you can play on the plate, right? Yeah, this is fry up nicely, and this is a nice finisher for something, all right? See, don't take any time, right? Not expensive. It's just a sweet potato, right? This is just callaloo. So you buy your bundle of callaloo and you go into it. You pick away some of the smaller leaves, right? And you can do that with them, right? As I said, the key to this is take it out of the oil just as how I showed you. Don't leave it in there until it gets to this stage. If you keep it in the oil to this stage, then it's going to be too dark as it continues to cook, right? Up to that doneness. All right. This is almost ready as well. Another 30 seconds or so. And then we're going to go back right in our board and we will just examine what we did. And then from there we're going to go into just to do a few of the colder items, and then we get into the plating aspect, all right? So let me put a few of these on here since we're just going to talk about them quickly. All right, so garnishing is not difficult. It's just a matter of knowing what you want to do, right? Thinking about it, right? And then, here what the key. Practice, 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 and practice some more, right? That's the key, right? You have questions, keep them coming. You can, we want the questions, so I can pop that off and I'm finished right there, right? Nice. All right, let's go back over here now. Examine what we would have done. All right. All right. Keep your station nice and clean, all right? We clean as we go. Put that there. All right. So let's take a look at what we have here. All right. So everything is good. All right. Yeah. Always check to make sure that you turn off all your equipments and stuff, right? So here we have a nice potato leaf, right? Nicely fried, right? So this is something that you can use as a nice finisher, right? We have the nest, nice and crispy. This is another finisher, right there, right? We have the leaves. So these are very brittle, okay? So when you handle them, be very, very gentle when you handle these, all right? And of course we have these. So these are the ones that we did the design on. These are the plain ones, right? Here we go. All right. So I'm just going to rest these right over here for now. We're going to touch back on those in a little while. And we're going to go into doing some cold items now. All right. So firstly, let me grab up my paring knife. Any questions? All right, keep the questions coming, right? Let it be interactive, right? Talk to me, right? I feel alone. I'm the only person talking and demonstrating. Okay? Pop some questions at me. All right, so I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is a little salad allocation kind of thing that you can use to accompany a dish. So you're serving some wings or you're serving some vegetable balls. You can use that to accompany that, all right? So is my peeler. All right, I have my peeler right here. I'm going to go in again with my carrot. Oh, did I tell you in the first section, right? The onions that I used was those same brunoise. We did the brunoise onion yesterday. All right, yeah. So we don't discard, right? Goes into my trash bin. All right. And what I'm going to do from here, let me take this in two. So I'll take this piece off first. I'm going to rest this back, rest it right here. I'm going to do the allocation. I'm going to do this, use that to show you another preparation. All right. Create a base, right? It's a round item, so we always create a base. All right. And I want them nice and thin. I see my grip, notice, pinch. Alright. So I could keep cutting all day long and I'm good to go with my hands. Let's take one more. Alright. What I'm going to do now is from here, I just want to get some nice thin strips, similar to what we did with the sweet potato. I get one more out of that, yeah. See, and I'm doing these individually just so you see exactly what I'm doing. As I said, the aim is not to go fast. The aim is to get the technique right. Once you have gotten the technique, then by all means apply the speed, all right? Too often I see a person applying the speed and the technique is off, right? Alright. And I have a little bowl here already with some water. I'm just going to pop these in there. Alright. To that, I'm going to add some sweet pepper. Right? So remember how we did our sweet pepper yesterday? We take the top off. Right? That's the only thing that is disposed. Take the base off. Right? These goes into edible. Go smack down the center. Put on the side and just roll. Right? There you go. Maximize on the yield. That's it. See? Right. Everything else is good stuff. I'm just going to take this part right here. This goes into edible. And what I want to do, right? I'm going to keep my board nice and clean. I'm going to press this down, just flat out, like that. Right? And what I'm going to do, I just want to cut because I want it a little thinner than the way it is. I'm just going right across it. Right? Just a little bit beneath the skin right there. So I end up with two pieces, all right? And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to use this one now, and same as we did with the carrots. This is finesse. This is, refined, right? Uniform sizes, right? So we're looking to see these kinds of knife skills. And again, you're not going to perfect it, but we will know, because as adjudicators, we know what we're looking for. All right, nice. So it's coming along quite well. Just use the one piece from that. All right. And to that, I'm going to add as well cucumber, right? So for this, I'm just going to go, I'm just taking the green from here. Nice and thin. Bam. Right. Let me take another. Nice and thin. Remember, garnishing, you need nice, eye appeal is important, all right? Again, I could put them all together and cut, but I want you to see what is going on here. The sizes are nice and uniform, right? So when you send those out, persons feel good. Right. And again, you could impart flavor into this. You don't have to use just standard water like I did here. You could do a nice infusion, right? This could be a lemon base or a pineapple base. Some, you could infuse flavor in it, right? So I think I'm going well here, but I think I'm going to pop just a little bit of, have another purple looking pepper here. I'm going to get a little bit more, vibrant, right? Right. See my waist, right? Little to nothing, right? Smack down the center. Same rule apply, right? This is my preferred way of breaking down up sweet peppers, right? Because I maximize on my yield, right? So I don't have to worry too much about waste in terms of food costs for this one, all right? So same rule apply. This is pretty thin already, so I'm not gonna break this as I did with the yellow one, all right? And just go right across the face there now, all right? And we say your garnish should enhance your dish and not take away from it, all right? So yes, you want to garnish, but it's best to not garnish an item than to garnish it and the garnish is non-functional or it takes away from the dish that you are preparing, all right? So here we go. This is looking nice. Let me bring this center stage so you see what's going on here. Okay, nice and clean, right? Where's my tweezer? Right, so there you have it, right? And we're going to put this on one of the, or maybe on a few of the plates as we play around with the whole plating techniques and all of that. All right, so this is good, right? This is something on the cold side that you can utilize, right? So like for the say you're doing like a salad, right? You want to create like a little roast. Well, there's a standard tomato roast. I won't go through that one this afternoon. We just peel away the tomato, roll it up, right? That's the standard. But like for this, you can do a few incisions. So I'm starting here. So I'm using my paring knife, right? And I'm going, I want to find the center of the carrot, right? So I'm just going in, say from about here, and I'm going towards the center, right? See that? Take that one out. Take another one towards the center, and I ensure that my knife blade is going towards the center, right? In there. Same there. And I'm going all the way around until I get back to where I started, alright? Alright, and if I twist, this guy should come apart, just like that, alright? And what you can do with this now is just knead it up, right? Knead them up. See? Yeah. Alright? So you knead up the base. Whoops! Got something on the ground there. Alright, so you knead them up nicely. Alright. So for the garnishes, you will see the garnishes when they're doing those nice centerpieces, they do these little fancies, and there are a myriad of others that you can do. Alright. I'm going to take another one from this since I have the base set already. Right, so I'm just going into the center. In center. Alright. And twist, and should come apart real nice, right? So we have two, so I'm just going to pop these in, that one right there. We're going to put those on a plate somewhere later on, right? We can do the same thing with the onion, right? Going to show you how we can do that. So just take a little from here, right? I'm going to peel this up, a little from the root end as well. And we're going to do something similar. Alright. I don't want to peel away too much from here. Alright, there we go. Alright. And you can do the same thing with this. Alright. See, we have a question. All right, hold that high. So let me see what's going on. All right. Could you use a vegetable peeler instead of a knife to slice potatoes? It all depends on what you're doing with the potatoes. I mean, you can use a veg peeler to peel a potato, to slice it. Yeah, it all depends. I'm thinking for the sweet potatoes a little bit hard, so you might have a little challenge if it's specifically for the sweet potato, because mine is pretty sturdy, but truth be told, I wouldn't use mine to do the sweet potato. If I have a mandolin, I'd rather go with the mandolin. But you can try it, right? There's no harm in trying, right? Some are pretty sturdy, so there's no harm in trying, right? So I would say yes, but just ensure that you get them nice and thin just the same, all right? Good question, all right? All right. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did with the carrot, right? I want to break this into two. So this one again is pretty basic. As I'm just showing you the fundamentals here, right? You can build, right? So I'm going in straight to the center again, right? And for this you can curve, right? You can go straight. It depends on the angle that you want. So I'm just pretty much going straight right here, all right? There. You're seeing what's going on. All right. All right, and I'm going all the way around until I get back to where I started, all right? So I ensure that I'm all the way down in the center. this one here, just make sure it's even. Right. And if you had gotten all the sides nicely, then it should just pull right apart. So a little squeeze. Let's give it a little squeeze. Right. Sometimes it falls apart where you just get some off and then the other will stay intact, right? I think I might just do it like that, then pull out the other part so you see what's going on. Well, let me go in again. If there's a little resistance, just go back in with your knife and just free them up, right? And these are good for when you're doing your knife buffet pieces, right? So this is not ideal for if you're doing an individual plate presentation, because naturally it's going to be too bigger. But after all, we're showing you so you know how to go through different applications, right? One came off, right? And so this one now is going to come, put this back in there. I'm going to show you how you can twirl those around, right? So what you could do with this as well, you could set these the different angle, like that. If I should say, try to take away a few more from that, and I could set the angle different on that. So what you end up with is more of a rose petal looking with this one as well, all right? There we go. And I can keep twisting. I could keep twisting them all the way around, and then it will give you a nice view as you keep going, right? So you would see different layers as it goes all the way up, all right? So that's the concept with that. And of course you have this one that you can do nice set here, doing your nice centerpiece. You can use this one. You can use this as well, all right? So we have those there, all right? We can do a similar thing. I want to touch the cucumber. We can do a similar thing with the cucumber, all right? Where am I about? Okay, so time is looking good, all right? So similar thing with we can do with the cucumber. Let me just dry these off nicely. Dry this one off. All right, I'll keep this instead and just throw this away, all right? So I like to use the cucumber to do what I did like with the carrot. But this now, say you're doing, you have some hors d'oeuvres to do. You have some, guests coming over, right? This is even outside of competition, all right? You can do these that I'm going to show you now, right? And these will really work well as carriers for a particular item. And even for the competition, if you want to do something from an appetizer standpoint, this is something that you can pull out the hat, all right? Take this off, all right? And what you can do from here now, you can pare this down just the same, take out the center, right? Take out the center. And you can stuff this, right? And this become a nice little carrier for something, all right? Let me take out another one. So simple stuff that you have at home in your fridge that you use every day, all right? Square them up. Right? And you can use this, that's edible, right? You can use these, take out the center, right? And you can do like, we talk about, modernist cuisine, being modernistic, a deconstructed salad. So you want to do a salad, but you don't want to do the standard where you're just putting everything on one plate. You can create these little things and some of this. So look at this. And I go like this. So I would have maybe done some work to my cucumber base, right? And I put a little of this in there. Right? Not too much, less is more, right? And this is going down, right? And I have this as a carrier for my salad, right? Looking good. So it's just about being creative with what you prepare. All right. I know. So that we have these down pat. Let's go into some plating now as we finish off. If you have any question, you can throw them at me, right? I'll take them. Oh, I wasn't going to touch this one because this is kind of standard, the scallion curl, right? So all you would do with this, you can do scallion, what we call scallion tail, you can do scallion curls. You just getting a piece of the scallion, and then all you're doing now is pretty much making some nice thin incision, and then you pop that into some ice water, and what will happen over time, it's going to fluff up nicely for you. Just open up, nice and vibrant, right? But that's pretty standard. So as you come to the competition, come with some more of the little more advanced and fancier stuff, right? As well. After all, the aim is to win the goal, right? That's the ultimate goal. So, yeah. All right. So let's go now into a little plating, right? So let me start with my canvas. So I brought this plate that I have here. This is what I use to demonstrate to persons pretty much how you utilize your canvas, right? So I'm going to hold it up so we can see what's going on, all right? All right, I'm on you, right? Yeah, all right. So the plate is your canvas, right? This is what you're going to use to carry the item, right? So we would have done some garnish, and we're going to put them on here utilizing some sauces and stuff, right? But how do we plate, right? How do we plate, and why is it important that when we're plating, we put stuff, at particular areas on the plate? So treat the plate as how you would do a clock, all right? So this is what you're doing now, right? We're starting at 12, so we have 12, 1, 2, 3, going all the way around back to 12, right? So if you're going to be plating, so you're doing a standard entree where you have protein, veg, and starch, right? You can choose where you're going to put protein, right? So I could say my protein is going to go from at 12 to 3. So it's this section right here, 12 o'clock, going from center to 3 o'clock, right? See that? So this section right here would be for my protein. So I have from 4 all the way around back to here, empty. Again, I choose where I'm going to put my veg, right? I could say I'm going to put veg at 6 to 9, right? And I put the veg over on this side. So what it does, it gives you the latitude to put stuff where you want to put them. And you can use this concept with any style plate, whether if it's round, square, rectangular, you can use the concept, right? It just helps, it's the basic. After a while, you don't really need it. But in starting out, in learning how to plate and how to use your canvas, it's a good way to understand it, right? We use it a lot as well when we're plating, especially for banquet functions. When we're doing, like, say, 2 protein on the plate, right? We'll have, say, protein go at 3 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and then we put veg at 6, and we can put the starch up at 12, and then the sauce goes somewhere else, right? So it's a good one to do, all right? So I'm not going to be plating on this, right? I'm not going to mess this up, right? But I'm going to be showing us how we can use a few other plates to do some basic platings, right? So this is nice rectangular that we have here. What I find often sometimes is that persons don't know how to put the sauce versus how to put the items on the plate. All right, remember now, whatever you're plating on the plate is the star of the show. You use the sauces and whatever accompaniments and garnish to enhance and beautify the plate, right? So say I'm going to be plating on this, I want to put some of this salad allocation that I have here, and I'm going to garnish it with one of these chips right here, right? So what I could do, looking at so the color scheme, right? And of course, we know that would have already beared in mind the flavor profile that whatever garnish we're going to use will match with the profile of the dish. Tomorrow, we go into that. So I'm not touching on that aspect, right? I'm just bringing us through. We're going in stages. We're going through the fundamental of how we style and design the plate for now. So already I have a white canvas. So it's a white plate. It's my canvas. It's white, right? And in here I have a couple of colors already. So I'm seeing my orange. I have yellow. I have green, and I have this the purple looking color working for me as well, right? So now I need to get a sauce now that would help to match and balance this out, right? So I'm not going to go for the yellow because already I have some yellow here, right? And I'm thinking I might go for green in this case, right? So for my design on my plate, and then I'm going to have this garnish, which is, somewhat of a, golden brown, off-white in a sense, right? So let's go and see how we can go ahead and do some design on the plate. There are several designs that you can use, right? Preferably invest in a few of these little squeeze bottles. They really help, right, when you're going to do your plate, right? Have a nice spoon and standby. I'm going to show you how to utilize your spoon as well, right? But for this one, I think I'll do some dots. So I'm going to go, ideally I want to put my allocation right here at this spot, and I'm going to put my garnish standing from this angle, right? So with that in mind, right, I'm going to go now, I'm going to do some dots over on this side, right? So I'm going with my green. All right, so let's ensure that we're in hindsight as I go to this. I can move away the knife. This is not needed now. Neither is the paring knife, so take those out. Put this right here. All right, anything I don't need, I think I can just move them away. All right, so move that just so we can see what's going on. Take that out. All right, and let's go for this. All right, so I'm going to go and do my green. So I just want to do some dots, right? You can do uniform sizes if you want, or you can choose to do them big, smaller. It all depends, right? Plating and styling a plate have a lot to do with creativity. All right? And so I start with a nice, vibrant green, right? So already the plate is going to pop, right? Right behind this, I want to take a layer of red, right? Right? And then if I want, I could do another green here, right? So I could do 2 more dots of green, right? 1, 2, right? And what I'm going to do from here now is I'm going to go in with our little salad thingy, right? So mark you, if you were doing, see, I was going to put, yesterday we did we debone, we break down the chicken. So I was going to put the breast on here. Then I would still have all of this section here to play with. It's a lot of plates, a lot of room, right, to play with. I could also play it where I rest it right at the edge of this sauce right here. All right? All right? So let's go with some of these right here. On my plate. I say it's just to show us how we can go about and do these plates, all right? And then I would go in with this, and I'm going to go right on top, right? So this, where I have this would have been where I put my balls, veggie balls, my chicken, my lamb, whatever it is would have gone in this same section. But as you look at the plate, you can see that there's a contrast of the colors, right? If I had put not this, and I'd put this one, see? It's a little different because I have more green work in there already, all right? So it all depends, right? Put functional garnish on there, right? So at least when you shoot that plate, it's looking nice, right? Nice and crispy, right? You put that there, right? So I could also choose to do even one of these carrots that I had here that we had done earlier, right? Could have gone right there, right? See that? And then I put this from another angle, resting right over the sauces right there. And that's another angle, right? And we'll leave this one as is. Let me make a little adjustments so I can put this right over here. So I'm going to take these out because I'm pretty much finished with these now. Finished with that canvas. I'm finished with this. So I'm just going to make some room. Pull this over just a little. This in, right? And that could be one nice plate for you, right? Let's do something on a round plate now. All right, we got a question in the house. Let me pull my lens so I can see what's going on. Does the garnishes need cold or hot water to remain fresh, right? So it all depends on what you're doing, right? Say like so this is something cold. So naturally you want to keep this cold. So if I'd used warm water to do this, right, then the nice crisp curl that you get, you wouldn't get them because the warm water is going to break down the item, right? So you want to keep, if it's a cold garnish, right, you want to keep it in the realm of cold, right? In terms of hot, there are not many garnishes you're going to do hot that you're going to keep in liquid, unless you're doing something like a play and a poached pear or some of those other items, right? But in essence, you want to keep them in a nice cold liquid like this so they remain nice and crispy, all right? Thank you for the question. Keep them coming. All right, so let's look at how we can do one of these plates now, right? So this is a round plate, same round canvas, just the same. And I'm going to go around the plate from the outer to the inner, right? And for this, I think I might go with the red, right? So you're pretty much just going around the plate, right? Right? And so you go around the plate, and by going around the plate now, you can go in and you can add additional colors at different intervals, right? Right. So we're just building on the canvas, all right? That's the aim, right? Just to build on it, right? Right? And so you build on it like this, and then you can now go in and play with whatever item you're going to put on here. Again, as we say, for tomorrow when we start to put items on the plate, then you will see more after how we build up under. This is another easy way that you can create a plate, right? You can go a lot sharper as you make the circles, right? But that's just to show you what is going on right there, right? Let's take this one, right? This is more standard now. You find persons using these black tiles type canvases, for plating, right? This is beautiful, right? It's more we call modernist or modernistic style of plating, right? All right. What is in the bottles? Okay, so I have. Do you put both protein beside each other when serving? All right, so let me take them one at a time, right? So in the bottle here, I have 3 different sauces that I'm using. The consistencies are all heavy enough where they can stand up. So when I put them on the plate, they won't run. All right. So you can have your sauces in different consistency. You can have pouring, coating, or you can have binding sauces. When we did the sauces earlier, right? The bechamel was pretty much at a coating consistency, right? So it was nappe. It coated the back of the spoon lightly, and we could see that streak after we did that on there, right? So it's a good question. So it all depends on what you're doing with the sauce that you're going to make. The consistency is very important. So you want to practice on that you use a sauce that the consistency won't run when you put on the plate. If you look at this, you can see that they pretty much stand up. So you don't want it to be overly thick, but they shouldn't be running like how you have a au jus, right? Au jus, pan gravy, those have their places, but if you're going to do like more fancier plating like these, you want something that is going to stand up, right? All right, so the second question, do you put both proteins? All right, so it all depends on what you're doing. So you're doing a surf and turf, right? Like for a surf and turf where you're doing something from the sea, something from the land, right? You can choose how you want to play with them. So as I said with the canvas, let's pull this one back quickly. What you can do is 12 to 3, you could say, all right, I'm going to put my sea item here. So whether it be snapper, shrimp, lobster, whatever it is, you can put that right here in this section, right? And then if you're going to work with like a beef, that classic surf and turf, you could put it over here. Or you could choose to do a stock where you say, all right, I'm going in the center right here. So between 5 o'clock round to 8, I'm putting beef and then my seafood go right on top. Then I would put my veg and my protein up between 9 and 3. So it all depends on what you want to achieve, right? As I said, plating, read, research, take some time, sit down, and go through the item that you really want to plate, all right? Let's finish off with this one. Nice question, loving them. Should protein be plated at 6? All right, so there are no standard rule of thumb as to where you put the protein, especially now, right, in this age where cuisine, where food is, right, in terms of, we talk about, the whole gastronomy and, modernistic style of cooking and plating. There are no standard ways. In the hotel, right, because I think I might know where the question is coming from. In the hotel, sometimes you'll find that if we're doing one protein, we might put it at, say 6 to 9, right, or maybe 3 to 6, right, and then we'll put starch and veg. But there are no specific rule of thumb, right, as to where you have to put it, right. But generally for plating, would generally put the starch up in this 12 o'clock section here, right, anywhere around here, right, and then we put protein and veg. But it's not cast in stone, right, so you can be creative. You can be creative as you plate your items, all right? So let's finish off quickly with this one. Thank you for the questions, all right? So you're using a black canvas this time around, right? So a white sauce would do us really well, right? For this one, right? Or you can go in and do colors like your red, your yellow. So it all depends. So for this one, I think I'm going to go with some red, right? So I'm going to do how you do the yin and yang, right? So I'm going to do that draw technique on here, right? So I'm just going to put just enough, and I'm going right here. This is around about, that used to be 7, 8 o'clock, all right? I just a little pull that I'm going to do through this because I want to kind of play a little on this canvas. Because when you use these to plate, you definitely have to know what you're doing, all right? So that's my first pull on that, right? So I have that going for me right there. And then I could go through now and I could go with some green, touching from another angle. Right? So I have that going there. I can still do a yellow, depends on where I want to go. So as we spoke about the canvas, so this would have been 12, right? Stay with me. So 12 here. So I'm shooting 12 to 6 with my green. And I have my red over here going from 7, 8, right? And so I say, all right, I have some yellow, right? So if I'm going to plate a protein here and I want to break the yellow with it, I could go from 12 round about here with a streak of yellow. So let's do some of those as well on this side, right? All right. And what you can do with this now, you're going to place items strategically, right? So you're building. So let's use the remainder of our salad thing. So I put this right here, right? So that's my first item down, right? And I'm looking, right? My eyes is on this, right? So I get I get what I'm going for right here. So let's go with the carrot. Put a carrot on here, right? I could choose to put this one somewhere right in the center right here, right? So I break that empty spot right in between, right there, right? So that goes there, right? These are really good for when we're doing deconstructed style plating, right? These are designed for those kind of, those style of plating, all right? And I could go ahead now and I could do over here. Say I want to put some of this yellow, right? I could go over here again and I have the same green, but this time I go round. It's the same canvas, right? But we go in with this, right? And that breaks that green right there. But you can still see right through what I put on there, right? And so if you're going to put a protein could have gone here, or you could have put another item right down here, right? And so this is how you build on the plate, build on your canvas as you learn different plating styles, different plating techniques. All right. So the beauty is that when you're going to plate, know what you're going for even before you get started. All right. The aim is to have an idea. So let me give you 3 quick things as I close. All right. Know the items that you're preparing. 1, ensure that they blend well together in terms of flavor, contrast, right? And then 3, know how you're going to place them on your plate. So it does take some it takes some background work, right, to put that together. All right. So this is just a basic. Tomorrow we'll touch a little more on the plating aspect of stuff as we really put real food on the plate. But this is just to whet your appetite and show you how you can go about and do these. All right. All right. So we're going to rest this one right on this side. Right. All right. Let me push these over just a little. All right, so we have enough room, right? And I could, as I said, I could do more layers, right? I could add stuff more here. I could go there, right? And here we could put a little leaf somewhere there. But the idea is to show you how you build on the base of the canvas, right? Adding the item in is pretty much easy, right? Just how you build on what you put on your canvas, right? We could put this one could have gone somewhere here, so you have another carrot on there, because it's deconstructed. We use this, we put small amount of protein, small amount of starch, and we build the plate in that sense, right? So we're not putting too much, but we're just building on the plate. I think I'm going to keep this, let that stay right there, a little touch of the yellow, right? You just put same rotation, and this will break it. Bam. Right? And we could put additional item. We could have break that with something over there, right? That could be maybe a piece of this leaf could break that, right? Could break the red over that side, right? But you're not going to get much from the green because that's black, right? So just showing you the basic as to how you design on your canvas, right? I think we went through these, so we're pretty much okay. We looked at how we fried this one, how we did the leaf, how we got these, how you can change them from just being plain to putting toppings on them. So I think we're at a good stage, right? Any question as we close out this section? We'll have Mrs. Jerry who will come and just finish off for us.
All right, thank you, Chef. Wow, this looks good. Who is hungry? Who wants to prepare their loved ones something sumptuous tomorrow? Lovely, Chef. And I'm sure that a number of persons have learned. A number of persons have learned from the experience that Chef did today. When you look at it, you're saying to yourself, do I have to go to a 5-star restaurant? Oh no, you can do it for yourself. Now you see all these squeeze bottles? They are inexpensive. You buy them, and as Chef says, it depends on the type of sauce that you do. You do your sauce, whether it's a pouring sauce, whether you do a coating sauce, whatever, but the consistency must be of such that when you pour it, when you squeeze it, it will sit on your plate without going all over and messing up your plate. Now, one thing that you need to do is to think of your design. I know that some persons, especially when it comes to the Valentine's time, everybody wants to do the heart. But you think of your design, what it is that you want. Think of your color scheme, all right? What it is that you want on the plate. What will cause the person that you are feeding or you want to present the meal to, what will cause them to say, wow, that really looks good, even if they don't taste it. They look and they say, oh wow, that looks good. You know, I would enjoy it, but you know, let it stay a little later. But this is good. Chef, I want to thank you.
Thank you.
And you have done it again. Thank you so much. And we know that come tomorrow, it is the hour that persons are waiting and longing for. Yesterday we fabricated chicken and we did some deboning. We did some vegetable cuts. We did some plate presentation, and listen to me. Chef Swaby is a no-nonsense person. He is the executive chef from the Turnover All Suite, and he's going to come and he's going to add to what Chef Brown did today. So he will be preparing lots of tasty dishes. He's going to allow you to understand how you treat your flavors, how you get flavors into your meal. You don't have to use powdered seasonings. You can use all natural herbs, and you're going to get your dishes as flavorful as you want it to be. So once again, those on Zoomland, those on Facebook, those on YouTube, I know that tomorrow you're going to come, and I know today was sort of challenging for some persons because Zoom was sort of full. Now, remember, tell persons that they need to go to either the YouTube or the Facebook to log on. So the early bird catches the most worms. So come early and log on to Zoom. If not, you can go Facebook and YouTube. And let me remind you, the evaluation form is a must. Please complete your evaluation form and remember your name and your email addresses so that we can send you your certificate of participation for these workshops. And I'm sure when we close on Thursday, that persons are going to be wanting more. And I can tell you, you will get more as we go throughout the year. So continue to encourage somebody to come on, continue to be a part of us and the experience that we are experiencing here in the Culinary Arts Unit. So, Chef?
I have another question. I think they're
Right.
asking if we can do these plates for sandwiches. Yes, you can do this plate for, there are no limits and bounds. And that's the basic idea that we're importing to you, that doesn't matter what you're going to present, you can design your plate nicely, right? And you can, so you're going to do a sandwich where you're going to have, you want to have some form of a dip with it, Miss Jerry, for argument's sake, right? You can add some of that on your plate, right? And present your sandwich nicely. So there are no bounds, right? Just ensure, as was said, that it makes sense and everything is in unity.
Right. And remember, for yourself, it is all to do that for you. You're making a sandwich, don't just cut the bread and say, oh yes, I'm going to eat it. Do into your plate, make a sandwich, put it on your plate and step back and look and say, is that looking good? And you say, yes, well, I am going to consume that. So don't allow yourself to say, boy, I can't go to a 5-star hotel. You can do the same thing at home. All right? So once again, on behalf of all of us here at the Culinary Arts Unit, I want to thank you so much for tuning in to the second day of workshop. Come tomorrow and we will continue the path as we get you ready for the competition that we have coming up. And remember, please go to the JCDC's website, www.jcdc.gov.jm. Read your handbook, know what it's asking you for, and at the end of the workshop, I want to see persons sending in their entries. Now you need to get to your ID first, and then you're going to be sending in your entries. Remember, you can call, you can ask for me when you call the head office, and I will guide you through, or call anybody in the Culinary Arts Unit, and we'll guide you as you complete your entry form, or if you have challenges, getting your ID. So once again, thank you, walk good, and please remember, COVID is still around. Do your social distance, wear your mask, sanitize, and be careful as you go on your daily walk. God bless you. See you tomorrow.